Let's talk about NBA betting picks for Sunday. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a great Sunday so far. Last time we were here on the channel, we went 3-1 with the picks. We continue to have a really good pulse, a really good gauge of what's going on in the NBA landscape. And you know what? I didn't post yesterday. First of all, got busy, some obligations. And second of all, I just didn't really like any games. And I feel like that's a good understanding to have, because when you are winning so much, it's easy to just continue to roll the dice and try to get back out there. But you know what? I looked at the board yesterday. I said, there's nothing here that stands out to me. I'm just going to hold on to my money and play another day, live to fight another day. And that day is going to be today on Sunday, because even though it is a little bit of a shorter schedule, I got 3 games that I do want to talk about. And of course, I'm here to share those picks with you guys. But before I do me a favor, subscribe to the channel so you never miss out when I post any videos. Also, to those of you who have already liked this video, you guys help me out a whole bunch and I really appreciate it. Okay, let's go ahead and let's talk about my first pick here. Now, as we introduced a few days ago, there is a bit of a stipulation with this pick. I like the Minnesota Timberwolves -1, basically a pick 'em against the Los Angeles Clippers, under the condition, or on the condition, that Anthony Edwards plays in this game. He left his last game at halftime for the birth of his child, which is kind of funny. He just sucks if you had him in a parlay or something, because he didn't end up cashing most of his prop lines. Well wishes to Anthony Edwards. Congratulations on the birth of a child. But honestly, that's not the reason that he might not play. I believe it's an ankle. He's got some injury that might hold him out of this game, but he is questionable. Like I said, I'm recording this video at about 10 a.m. on Sunday. The game's at 3:30 Eastern time, so check your injury reports relatively early. But anyway, let me talk about this game. So, over the last 15 games, the Los Angeles Clippers have not been that impressive. Their record isn't bad, but they are not dominating the league like they did shortly after the Harden trade. If you want to look at those last 15 games, the Clippers are 13th in net rating. The Timberwolves are 2nd. The Clippers are 22nd in defensive rating. The Timberwolves are 1st. The Clippers are 22nd in rebound rate. The Timberwolves are 9th. So they've got the decided advantage pretty much across the board there. The Clippers are a good road team. They outscore opponents by an average of about 3 points per 100 possessions when they are on the road. But the Wolves are much better at home. They outscore opponents by an average of 9 points per 100 possessions when they are at home. The Timberwolves are also one of very few teams in the league that can match the Clippers in 3-point shooting. LA is a top 3 team shooting better than 39%. Guess what? Minnesota, top 3 teams shooting better than 39%. The Clippers are 0-2 in this season series. They lost by 4 and they lost by 21. They also do not have Russell Westbrook coming off the bench in this game. And yeah, that's going to cut down on some turnovers and some boneheaded missed layups and stuff like that. Westbrook, if in case you missed it, fractured part of his hand. Well wishes to Westbrook. Hope he's back in time for the playoffs. But even though he does make those mistakes, he provides great pace and great energy, catches a lot of teams lacking in transition, tenacious offensive rebounder. When your half-court offense is stagnant, he's going to drive to the rim and he's going to miss shots, but he's also going to get some layups, draw fouls, things like that. So even though he might not be a star like he once was, he is important for this team. Pretty much everything in the second unit's going to have to run through Norman Powell, and he's not necessarily the best ball dominant backup guard to have. He can score a lot. He can give you 20 points in a hurry, but I just don't know how it's going to look with the ball in his hand pretty much full time in that second unit. So Timberwolves -1 against the Clippers. They're at home. They're the much better team. As long as Anthony Edwards does play here, I really like this pick. So that's my first pick of the day. My second one is going to be the Charlotte Hornets at +7.5 on the road against the Toronto Raptors. I continue to fade the Raptors, and that's despite them playing pretty well. I was impressed with some of their numbers looking at the last 15 games or so. With that in the last 5 to 10 games. If you look at the last 15 games, the net ratings between these teams, Charlotte and Toronto, are nearly identical. As you'd imagine, the net rating is getting to not really play too much of a factor in this game, though, because the Toronto Raptors are down Scotty Barnes. He broke, I believe it's his middle finger. A lot of hand injuries going on. We got Trae Young with the finger ligament, Scotty Barnes with the broken finger, Westbrook with the broken hand. Sucks, man. Sucks. Injuries always suck. At least it's not Achilles and stuff like that. But Scottie Barnes gone for this game, gone for the foreseeable future. He is quite clearly the best player on Toronto, and not only is he their best player, he's their system. He's like the heliocentric model, and everything revolves around him. So without him in the lineup, not only is the team going to take a step back, but they're going to have to adopt a new play style. That's definitely going to hurt them here. The Hornets are playing great defense recently. Aside from the game, they lost by 48 points to the Milwaukee Bucks. If you take that game out, actually, you know what? If you leave it in, ever since the trade deadline, when they made those moves for, they get Trey Mann and Grant Williams and Seth Curry and all those guys, 9 games, they are 5th in defensive rating. Again, that's with losing like 123 to 85 or whatever it was to the Milwaukee Bucks. That includes that game. The Hornets are also 8-4 against the spread in their last 12 games. And even though the Raptors were looking a lot better, you know, I just can't trust them to win by such a large amount. I mean, 7.5 points against a team that is playing well and without their best player, Scottie Barnes. Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges going to be the top 2 players in this game. Both of them obviously play for Charlotte. Miller averaged 21 points in February. Bridges averaged 22. I think you see these guys step up. I think it's definitely possible that you have big games from RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, because these are guys that have filled big roles before with the New York Knicks, but I wouldn't necessarily that it's likely enough to the point they cover the full 7.5. So Charlotte Hornets plus 7.5, that's going to be my second pick there. And my third and final pick, going to be the OKC Thunder minus 5.5 at the Phoenix Suns. So Devin Booker's questionable in this one, sprained his ankle yesterday, had to leave the game. Yusuf Nurkic, also questionable, also left the game yesterday with neck spasms. And Bradley Beal, not listed on the injury report, but it's Bradley Beal. He doesn't play a lot of games, and he was also ejected yesterday. So, you know, for whatever reason, there's a potential 3 guys miss the game for Phoenix. There's a potential all of them play, but there's the potential and probably the likelihood at least one, if not more, of them misses this game. The Thunder have been dominant all year. I don't need to tell you guys that. Literally every metric aside from rebounding, they are great to elite at. If you want to go home away, 3-point percentage, transition points, bench rating, like everything they are great to elite at. They're 5th in road rating. They outscore opponents by an average of 4 points per 100 possessions when they are on the road. The Suns are only 17th in home rating. They have a home net rating of +3. Again, that's not different from the Thunder's +4 on the road, but it's a lot harder to go on the road. And when you consider the fact that Phoenix is probably going to be missing at least one of these guys, then that would give you more credence to go with OKC here. The Suns lost the only previous matchup against the Thunder this season. It also took place in Phoenix, and they lost by 12 points. Phoenix is 1-3, only 25% against the spread as a home underdog, and they are 4-5 against the spread with a rest disadvantage. The Thunder 9-9 as road favorites, so modest but somewhat consistent, and 8-5-1 with a rest advantage against the spread. That's about 62% of the time they cover when they do have an extra day's rest, just like they do in this matchup. So when I consider the fact that if Nurkic plays, cool, but then Booker, I think Booker's the biggest liability here. I mean, he literally sprained his ankle yesterday, left the game. I understand you want to get up for the OKC game, but at the same time, you got to realize you're going to be underdogs to OKC anyway. If I'm Frank Vogel, I'm telling him just take the night off. Is Kevin Durant more than capable of carrying this team? Sure, but we've seen what OKC has done all year. They've been very consistent. They're continuing to play with energy. Without Booker, this is the big one. If Booker doesn't play again, like I'm assuming he's not, OKC leads the league in points off of turnovers. The Suns, as we know, don't have any true facilitators. Booker's taken up that role, and he's done a pretty good job, but still, he's not a natural born playmaker, and without him, I think you're going to see a lot of turnovers for Phoenix. Thunder capitalize on a lot of those mistakes. They walk out of there with a win. Would I go a full 2 units if we get, if Booker and Nurkic don't end up playing, would I bump this to 2 units? Probably not, because you're probably going to see the line move to like OKC -7, -8, something like that. So I would just leave it at 1 unit, although I would be more confident if I would believe in it more if some of these injuries do come into play, like I think they will. But again, I don't think it's huge risks. He sprained his ankle yesterday. I don't know what to say. I just don't think he's going to play. But if he does play, I still like the pick anyway. So just to recap my 3 picks of the day, Timberwolves -1 versus the Clippers if Anthony Edwards does play. Hornets +7.5 on the road against the Raptors. Thunder -5.5 on the road against the Phoenix Suns. Guys, that's going to do it. A little bit of a shorter video today. Hope you all enjoy your Sunday. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss out when I upload. Like the video if you enjoyed. Comment, let me know what you're betting on today. And I will catch you all in the next one. Have a great day.